I'm going to warn you ahead of time. This week's new release video may be the longest I've ever done. Now let's take a look at all the games coming out this week of October 21st, 2025. My name is Stefan. This is Parent Sky Gaming. If you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe.
The first game on my list is Jurassic World Evolution 3. It's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is everyone 10 and up. Content descriptions: mild blood, mild language, mild violence. Jurassic World Evolution 3 is a simulation game in which players manage a dinosaur park. From a top-down perspective, players complete objectives and missions, manage resources, care for dinosaurs' needs, and monitor guest satisfaction. Dinosaurs can sometimes escape enclosures, attacking and eating park guests. Dinosaurs can also attack and fight each other, although players can prevent these conflicts by placing friendly species in the enclosures. A handful of scenes depict scars and small bloodstains on dinosaurs. The word damn appears in the game. Next up is Painkiller. It's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is mature. Content descriptions: blood and gore, language, and violence. Painkiller is a modern reimagining of the cult classic boomer shooter that sends players through a gothic purgatory to battle waves of demons with a fast, brutal first-person combat. Fast-paced arena combat emphasizes momentum, traversal, and aggressive play. Encounters blend hordes, scripted set pieces, and large boss fights with rewarding movement and targeting prioritization. Players wield a mix of weapons such as the shake gun and electric driver, which is a distinct firing modes and upgrades, along with the abilities to amplify traversal and combat synergy. Now let's take a look at Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. This is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is mature. Content descriptions: blood and gore, intense violence, strong language, and suggestive themes. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is an action role-playing game which players help two vampires regain their memories and their powers to stop an uprising. From a first-person perspective, players explore city streets, investigate murders, interact with characters, and battle vampires in melee-style combat. Players use physical attacks and vampiric powers to kill enemy vampires. Players can also employ stealth attacks to kill enemies discreetly. Battles are frantic, accompanied by impact sound, realistic gunfire, and large blood splatter effects. Some attacks can result in close-up sequences of player characters decapitating and/or impaling enemies. A handful of areas depict decapitated corpses and pools of blood. Large bloodstains also appear in several environments. The game contains suggestive and sexual material in the dialogue. Swear words are heard in-game. Now let's dive into Dispatch. This is on PlayStation 5 and PC. The rating is mature. Content descriptions: blood, crude humor, intense violence, nudity, sexual content, strong language, use of drugs and alcohol. Players control Robert Robertson, a washed-up former superhero who takes a job as a dispatcher and navigates office politics, superhero crises, and dark comedic interpersonal drama presented in an interactive TV show. The game blends choice-driven narrative adventure with a strategic management layer where dialogue choices and resource decisions matter. It is released episodically. Now let's take it old school and angry video game nerd 8-bit. This got on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is mature. Content descriptions: strong language, use of alcohol. Angry video game nerd 8-bit is an all-new retro-style action platformer that casts the YouTube character the angry video game nerd as a playable hero battling through nightmarish pixelated art levels inspired by classic bad games. The game delivers frantic 8-bit side-scrolling platforming with boss fights, stage hazards, and signature nerd rage, taking clear design cues from Mega Man-style run-and-gun mechanics while layering chip-tune music and spoken voiceovers for character movements. Now let's take a look at Bounty Star. This is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is mature. Content descriptions: blood, strong language, use of drugs, and violence. Bounty Star is an over-the-shoulder 3D mech action game that blends customizable mech combat with base building, farming, and bounty hunting in a stylized post-apocalyptic setting. Players control Clem, a broken but powerful ex-soldier and mech pilot trying to rebuild the life in the Red Expanse, a ruined version of the American Southwest, while taking on bounties and confronting her past. Players pilot a customizable Desert Raptor Mk2, equipping heavy metal arms, explosive firearms, steam-powered siege weapons, thrusters, shields, and other modular parts to suit different combat roles. Encounters mix close-up quarters brawling with ranged shooting movements, while missions revolve around tracking and taking down targets across open canyons and settlements. Now let's take a look at Double Dragon Revive. This is coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is teen. Content descriptions: mild language, suggestive themes, use of tobacco, and violence. Double Dragon Revive is an action fighting game which players assume the role of two brothers attempting to stop a gang from controlling their city. From a side-scrolling perspective, players traverse the 2.5D environment to battle human enemies in beat-em-up style combat. Players defeat enemies by punching, kicking, throwing, and using small weapons. Combat is highlighted by colorful light effects, cries of pain, and impact sounds. One female character is designed with revealing clothing. One level contains a strip club with a female enemy spinning on a pole. Several characters smoke cigars. In cutscenes during combat, swear words appear in-game. Now let's take a look at Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. This is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. The rating is everyone 10 and up, content descriptions, fantasy violence, mob blood, simulated gambling. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted is a tower defense game in which players cultivate and garden destructive plants to ward off waves of incoming zombies. Players plant seeds such as pea shooters, cherry bombs, and cob cannons to attack and defeat cartoony enemies. As zombies enter the garden, they are hit with whimsical projectiles, explosions, and eaten by plants. Zombies' heads sometimes pop off in a cartoony fashion when hit. One type of zombie wears a bucket with a small streak of blood on it. A minigame called Slot Machine allows players to spend in-game currency on random reel spins. Matching certain plants and suns reward players with the plant in place. Now let's get down and dirty in Power Wash Simulator 2. This comes on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. The rating is everyone. Power Wash Simulator 2 expands the original satisfying pressure washing loop into a larger, more varied job with improved tools and mechanics that emphasize precision, attachment, and fresh environmental variety. Players choose the assignments, equip a pressure washer nozzle and soaps, and then methodically remove grime by adjusting distance, pressure, and spraying patterns while prioritizing stubborn stains and layered filth for effective cleanings. Now let's take a look at The Lonesome Guild. This is coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is teen. Content descriptions, drug references, and violence. The Lonesome Guild is a single-player top-down action RPG that channels the rhythm and intimacy of couch co-op while you control a spirit named Ghost, who gathers a ragtag party to resist the spreading red mist across the land of Ire. Gameplay centers around the real-time action with seamless switching between party members, combining light hack-and-slash combat, environmental puzzles, and cooperative stylized synergies that make each encounter feel like a small team skirmish. Now let's take a look at Chicken Run Extraction. This is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is everyone. Content descriptions, mild fantasy violence. Chicken Run Extraction is an action stealth game in which players lead chickens to a mission to rescue other chickens inside a processing plant. From a top-down perspective, players help free chickens from the facility while avoiding traps, guards, and hazards. The players use dash attacks and lure weapons to knock down guards and robots. Boss encounters involve more protracted combat, with players triggering switches and avoiding swinging swords. Now let's race in Hot Wheels Let's Race Ultimate Speed. This is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is everyone. Content descriptions, comic mischief, mild fantasy violence. Hot Wheels Let's Race Ultimate Speed is a racing game which players select from 6 racers that compete in racing camp events. Players engage in races, extreme stunt contests, and thrill-seeking challenges. The game includes occasional boss battles, as cartoony villains use projectiles, flames, and swooshing motions to slow down and defeat players. Players use balls or projectiles to target boss characters' weak points, resulting in screen-shaking effects and moderate explosions. One vehicle resembles a toilet, with accompanying green gas clouds and flatulent sounds. Next up is Once Upon a Jester. This is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. The rating is everyone 10 and up. Content descriptions, mild fantasy violence, mild language, and use of alcohol. Once Upon a Jester is a whimsical musical adventure that follows 2 friends, Jester and Soak, as they tour a fantasy kingdom performing improvised theater to win a place in the Royal Theater spectacle and steal the Royal Diamond. Players guide Jester and Soak through towns and stages as they improve the show, outperform rival acts such as Horfin and Bork, and pursue the scheme to enter the palace and claim the Royal Diamond by becoming the king's top performers. Now let's take a look at Once Upon a Katamari. This is coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is everyone. Content descriptions, alcoholic references, mild fantasy violence, and use of tobacco. Once Upon a Katamari is a puzzle adventure game which players help a prince rebuild planets, stars, and constellations for a king. Players roll a large ball around the whimsical stages, picking up various items along the way. During one scene, a player encounters pirates that shoot pistols and cannons at a giant octopus. Other scenes depict characters briefly screaming when run over by the Katamari. One cutscene briefly depicts a cowboy with a scar in his mouth. Among dozens of items, there is a celebratory booze barrel. Sake is also mentioned in the text of an item. And the last game on today's list with a full description is The House of Dead 2 Remake. This comes on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. The rating is mature. Content descriptions, blood and gore, and violence. The House of the Dead 2 Remake is a rail shooter light gun game in which players assume the role of an agent searching for a missing colleague in Venice, Italy. From a first-person perspective, navigate through the city while using pistols to shoot and kill zombies and mutant creatures. Killing creature often results in decapitation and disordered dismemberment. With large blood splatter effects, combat is often fast-paced, accompanied by gunfire, screams of pain, and large explosions. A handful of sequences depict affiliates attacked and killed by enemy creatures. And the rest of the games on today's list are also coming out, but no information was available.
Well, that's all the games out for this week. It was a long video, like I told you. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you want to help the channel, please support us on Patreon. If you want to follow Parent Sky Gaming on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And thanks for watching.